Hello, this is Paul again, and welcome to part 3 of our Unit 4 presentation. We are talking about disk status now, which is basically what the whole purpose of this lesson is for. So as we get started, we'll be able to see a lot of information about the different drives we have on our machine. Looking back at the main page of my computer, we have a view of all the drives that we have available to us on our machine. And in your case, it'll be very simple, much simpler than what it is for mine since it's hooked up to a network. We're going to be able to see what the status is of any one of these by making a simple selection and pressing down on the right button on your mouse. Using the right click on your button, you'll be able to see this menu come up, and like I said before, I have extra things installed on my computer that will not be on your list. Once you get on the internet, same thing will happen with you. So we are able to pay attention to the bottom selection with properties. After clicking on properties, you'll be able to see this window of which I chose local disk C, and the properties is displayed. However, take notice that there are different tabs going across the top of this, and we're going to be relating to the Tools tab later on. But let's get more information about this general information. Take notice there's a box there where I'm pointing to on this slide where you can give a drive a specific name to make more sense of what it's about. So you can even type in, if you wish, on your computer to say this is your operating system drive. I'd like to point out that this gives you a complete report of how much is used up on your hard drive. It tells you numerically how much room you have, what size the disk is, but it also presents a pie chart to be able to show you what percentage is being used up and how much is available. I am now pointing out that we have a button there for disk cleanup, and we're going to take a look at using this button and how much it affects the efficiency of your drive in a short period of time. So be sure to follow up on this. You're going to want to use this button from time to time to be able to keep maintenance to your drive tip-top. Windows XP was the start of disk compression, and what happens is it makes better use of the storage of data on your computer without losing any quality to your work. Now, one thing you need to realize that on this, the sooner you do this, the better. When you get your computer and you do not activate this part, it will not make any difference with the files that are already stored there, but will only make use of the rest of the disk that is not being used to be able to have it in a compressed state and be able to store more information. Allowing the index service to be activated will make your computer much faster to find files when you use the search and be able to have quicker access to know what's on your drive. I will now give you a brief overview of the Tools menu to be able to maintain your drive and what is involved to keep your machine working properly. There is certain things on here that is not able to be done in the classroom because it requires a clearance for you to be administrator on the computer. And in our classroom, the students are not allowed to make major changes. So we do not get too heavy on this exercise for that purpose. But when you get your machine, you will be the administrator of your own machine and be able to make use of these tools. To gain access, please click on the tab on the top that says Tools, and you'll be able to see the present screen that is being shown. In this error checking section, this option will check the volume for errors. It does not check the entire disk. Instead, it will look for errors on what is the FAT table, or the table where it's used to look up and bring up your files as needed. Next, we have a defragmenter. And that means that as your files, your application files that you write and develop, they are stored randomly across the disk. But actually what happens is you go to the very beginning of the disk and be able to use the first available space to use and store your data. In that portion, you will also find another space to store some more of your data. This might take place as many as 20, 30, 40 times before your file is actually stored on the computer. Now, when it takes time to open your files, it could be because extensive fragmentation has taken place this way. So what we do is that when we go on to defrag the drive, we will have a process, a wizard that will take, well, it's not really a wizard, it's a utility that will be able to evaluate your disk, and according to how much fragmentation on there, it'll suggest that you compress it. Now, take warning that this will take time. It is good to do it in the evening when you're going to go to bed, and allow this machine to work while you're sleeping. In this last portion on this is to provide a backup for your files to a different location. It could be on another drive. For example, I have a network drive where I store my files. But also, we talked in the class how the use and the rotation of what backups are used professionally. And we're talking about having a rotation of maybe 3 sets of disk, if not more, to be able to rotate and be able to have backups. I do explain this very clearly at the class, and when we go to store this kind of data, we might make use of writable CD drives, or in some cases, if your machine will take it, to use a DVD drive. When we do this, it will be able to back up your files and provide for restoration of files if anything happens to your computer. On a professional level in a business, this is an ongoing program, and it is good idea to get better disks for this purpose that are not only writable, but they are rewritable. They are identified as a CD-RW or a DVD rewritable type disk. They often cost more money, but you get much more use out of them for this purpose. This is actually the end of lesson 4 about maintenance to your hard drive and being able to see what's on it. And we do cover in our class about how to get directories of these drives and be able to find files that are on your drive that you're looking for. And that is covered in other lessons. So I hope to see you at our class. And like I said before, this is a demonstration for your help to be able to see what's being presented over and over and be able to have a little bit of reinforcing to be able to have it available for you for reference as needed. This is not an attendance to the class. You need the notes that I hand out at the end of each class to be able to have credit to get a free computer.